My name is Daniel Thornburgh. I'm an attorney with Aylstock, Witkin, Kreis Overholtz, and I work on cases involving pharmaceutical and medical device manufacturers who fail to properly warn consumers about risks associated with their products. The brand drug Zofran is manufactured by GlaxoSmithKline. There are a number of generic manufacturers who manufacture generic forms of Zofran, known generically as Ondansetron. In 1991, the FDA approved Zofran for use in patients who have undergone chemotherapy, radiation, and some other post-surgical procedures to treat their nausea symptoms. So the drug is an anti-nausea medication. The FDA never approved Zofran for the treatment of morning sickness or nausea in pregnant women. This is an important issue. Dating as far back as the 1980s, GlaxoSmithKline had performed internal studies that showed that animals who had ingested or were given Zofran, that the drug could pass through the placenta and could cause damage to the fetus. Beginning from 1980s onward, there have been a number of epidemiological studies which have showed a rather convincing causal association between Zofran and birth defects, primarily birth defects involving the heart, where babies are born with holes in the heart, or babies who are born with cleft lips and cleft palates. These are serious injuries. Well, as we discussed a moment ago, the FDA had never approved Zofran for the treatment of morning sickness in pregnant patients. This is because the manufacturers had never performed appropriate tests to demonstrate the safety or efficacy in using Zofran in pregnant women. The problem is the company knew, or at the very least they should have known, dating back as far back as the approval process or before. The company knew or should have known that the drug caused serious, life-threatening birth defects to children. Unfortunately, like we see in nearly every case we bring against these Fortune 500 multi-billion-dollar corporations, is that they continue to put profits over the safety and well-being of the customer, the consumers. When a company knows that a drug can cause a serious adverse event, especially in babies, to fetuses, the company needs to take proper steps to make sure that patients are not prescribed a drug that is going to cause these serious adverse events. The drug should have been contraindicated in pregnant women. The company knew that it could cause these problems. Unbelievably, despite having knowledge that these risks of birth defects were associated with the drug, and despite not having approval by the FDA to sell these drugs or to promote these drugs for use in pregnant women, the company illegally promoted Zofran to doctors and represented that this drug was safe and effective in treating morning sickness in pregnant women. In 2012, GlaxoSmithKline entered into a settlement with the Department of Justice, the United States government, related to a number of their drugs, including Zofran. In the complaint brought by the federal government, it was alleged that GlaxoSmithKline not only promoted Zofran illegally for use in pregnant women, but also paid kickbacks to doctors as an incentive for the doctors to prescribe this drug to pregnant women. Ultimately, what happened in that case, they entered into a plea agreement, and as a civil penalty, civil and criminal penalties, GlaxoSmithKline paid $3 billion, one of the largest fraud cases against a pharmaceutical company in the history. If you were prescribed Zofran or the generic form of Zofran during pregnancy for the treatment of morning sickness, contact the attorneys at Aylstock, Witkin, Kreis, and Overholtz.